Top of the morning, it's your boy Monz, baby Monz, Logan.
It's your boy Lucky XL.
And this is Survival of the Fittest podcast. Got my brother, producer S.A. behind the cameras, man. What's going on?
What's happening? Woke up today feeling good.
Oh, man, yeah. You know what, man? I'm feeling that vibe over there. What about you, Lucky?
Hey, man, I'm going to share this with the crowd real quick. I got to say it real quick. She says that this is Lena Horne. It's not the weight of the load that you carry that breaks you down. Oftentimes, it's how you carry it. So I've been carrying this load, man. I'm doing it well. So I'm here, man. I'm here.
Man, you so present, man. You know, I feel you 3 lifetimes away, man.
Talk to me.
Man, you know what? Today is a special day, man. We got a special individual sitting in with us today. You know, and man, you know, this guest today is not just an activist. He's a catalyst of change in the heart of the city of Chicago. You know, with a passion for social justice, with a commitment to empowering his community, and he has dedicated his life to fighting for equality, police accountability, and youth empowerment. From founding I Am Gentleman to running for mayor of our beautiful city, his journey is one of resilience, determination, and unwavering advocacy. So join us in bringing our great brother, Jaymal Green, to our platform, man, brother. We appreciate having you, man. How you doing over there?
Man, I'm beautiful, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on the podcast, man.
Oh, man, we appreciate you having. We appreciate you being a part of
coming through.
What we're doing, man.
100%.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because you already know.
No, I mean, I was just going to ask this brother, you know, I asked everybody, man, how their day going, how they flowing, man. How your day been?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm on this new vegan diet over the last few weeks. So, you know, I've been cleansing, but it's been well. It's been well. And for some reason, while you get on a diet like this, every time I get on Instagram, food porn pop up. You feel me?
Yeah, man.
They cutting steaks every time I pull up Instagram.
Right.
It's like, wow, this was y'all on, you know.
Right.
Survival of the fittest, man. You know, you got to
man, you right,
you got
man.
to make it on through, man. But you know, I've been, you know, making it through, man. It's been beautiful.
So, man, what's brought about this new lifestyle change, man?
Well, you know, man, I just been on this healthy stuff, man. So I've been in the gym early in the morning. My team kind of changed my schedule to get me up earlier. I'm usually a late riser. I like to, you know, I got all windows in my room, so I like, you know, waking up and the sun beaming and just chill there for a few hours.
Right.
Then I look up, it's noon, you know. So so I kind of like, you know, waking up late. So now they like, nah, you got to get up early. Let's get the day moving. Let's get this work out the way.
Right.
Family time, you know, more on the structured schedule. So that's what I've been on, and I want to be a little more healthier.
So give me a little insight. Give us a little insight about what that morning routine looking like.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Now it's like, man, up 5:30 in the morning, about 5:15, 5:30 in the morning, getting to the gym. You know, at least by 5:45, if it's like a cycle class, the gym is about 8 minutes away.
Right.
So I can hit a cycle class or something at 5:45 and hit my
a cycle class?
Yeah.
So you getting on the bike with all the women with the stretch and
Yeah, getting it in.
That's a different level of dedication.
Yeah, that's the real deal.
Just to kind of get the workout started.
Right,
and then,
right.
you know, then right after that, I kind of do my own workout. You know, then I'm off to work. You know, I'm off to one of my construction sites or so. You know, I got a new business that I'm doing in suburbs. So I got a full gut rehab of a commercial site going on right now. So it's been taking up a lot of the schedule.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of how I kick it off. You know, or I come home, hit the sauna, you know, read, meditate a little bit, then I get to work.
Yeah, man. So speaking of work, man, you know, let these people know who don't know what that work is that you do, that you putting in out here, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, outside of my work life of being a serial business owner and being a father, that's one, right? I think that's the biggest job that I have, is making sure that my 3 boys got what they need, and I'm building the best legacy I can for them.
Right.
So that's number one. Number two is, you know, the different businesses and the different things that I'm invested in. Real estate, I'm a broker as well. Own a Generational Green, where we, you know, make sure that folks are creating generational wealth. We teaching them how to do it through real estate, residential and commercial.
Right.
So it's a one-stop shop to owning your own home and investment with our investment club. and really getting involved in, making sure you know how to create generational wealth for your family. So that type of work, and then of course the community and the politics and making sure that we moving forward the right issues for us, man, and looking out for our best interests. And that's what I've been doing, for the majority of my life now.
Now you said, I'm gonna say you said something that sparked something that I saw when I looked on your profile. On your IG, you said, "I love politics, but I hate politicians."
Yeah.
give me a little bit of give me some insight on.
Start with the hate. Start with the hate. Give us the hate.
Well, you know what? These politicians, man, they garbage, man.
Right.
They are puppets to the establishment or puppets to an entity that's not the community. And so a lot of these politicians don't even come from the community, and they come from within these groups or out of town, and they put them in place to move forward their agenda. So when I say I hate politicians, is these politicians who are really just politicians, because we don't elect people who from our communities, who gonna really kick the shit and, be honest about what's going on. We don't elect those type of people, because those type of people too dangerous. Those type of people get in place and they're gonna make sure the hood actually gonna eat, know, and that's what they don't want, because if the hood don't eat, that's what funds these billion-dollar businesses for them, whether violence is one of them, where all of the different people who put money in politics benefit. So they kind of need us to be oppressed and down in these communities, because that's how the money keep flowing, So I love the political game though, right? I know it backwards and forwards, and I've been a part of it for so many years. So I love the game of politics and understanding, these seats and pieces and where the money is and how to get to the money, how to move money in politics and things of that sort. Because I've kind of mastered it.
So let's start here, right? I listen to a lot, and the people that you go up against dealing with the Chicago machine, because even before I became aware of you, I'm older than you. I probably got you 15, 16 years or something, but you game tight, right? So how did you come about? Because you was fucking up. You went to 12 different schools. It took you a minute to find your way.
Yeah.
But when you did, you was off and running.
In the schools. It was politics in the schools.
So tell me about the school system that helped usher you into.
Well, CPS is one of the worst school systems, man, and going through school after school, and they kind of deeming you a bad kid and you ain't gonna be nothing. Not giving you the resources to actually make sure that kids are challenged and have the attention that they need so that they can be better. Is what they did with me. I was always I had top test scores at every school I went to. Always had good grades. Always, I can go in and be suspended for 2 weeks and go in and do an assignment like this and get an A+. You know what I'm saying? Without even being there to hear the course. And so I was just different. Me, I just wanted to run shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to challenge authority. Exactly who I am today is who I was as that young kid.
You're pushing the line.
Right. I was pushing that line for sure. But at that young age, it's like, hold on, little nigga, you can't be pushing. We run this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it was just, one of those things that authority, because a lot of kids would follow me and I would have a lot of power in certain schools, and so authority didn't like that. So they was like, nah, he got to go,
Let's get him up out of here.
Because, I always, one time I won the orator competition for the city of Chicago when I was in 7th grade. And that's how I met Arnie Duncan, and Arnie came to my classroom.
Oh, he dropping names now, huh? He dropping names, huh?
He was a superintendent of education, right? So he come to my school when I was in 7th grade to take me out of class to hear me do the speech in the hallway, right? I just won first place for the city. And the principal said, well, mind you, I was suspended before the orator competition. So when the orator competition was, I was suspended. But she called my mom and said, nah, he got to go represent this school for the orator competition.
Right.
I said, oh, y'all keep on kicking me out, but now y'all want me to come represent the school for the competition.
Leverage.
So I won first place in the competition, came back with my big trophy, and she said, oh, this is going to look so beautiful in the trophy case. No, it's not. This going home with me.
Well, since
I'm going back on suspension.
Look, since you brought that up, and I know you do something, I want to see if you can do this for me, right? I wanted to start it off like this, but Give me lift, every voice can sing. When I think about you, I get spiritual, man. Because I know they were singing that in the auditorium. Give me lift, every voice and sing. Because that's when I see you, I'm like, man, he's the epitome of those lyrics.
You crazy, the epitome of those.
You know what I'm saying? Because see, I don't know which camera is mine. I don't know. For everybody out there, I want y'all to go like, share, and subscribe, and follow Jaymal Green. Jaymal. Yeah, you got to say Jaymal Green, right?
For sure.
Hey, I can't say no more, but listen to this interview. So go back into it. So now you in school.
Yeah.
You're doing the oratory thing. So what kicks in to where you say, you know what? I want to take this a step further to where you start having that self-confidence, that self-motivation to.
Well, you know what? It was in high school. You know, I think when I got to high school, I actually had an assistant principal who was like, "Nah, this kid is the bomb." You feel me?
Name drop.
Devon Horton. He is now the superintendent of DeKalb County Schools in Atlanta, and he was superintendent of Evanston Schools before that. Superintendent of St. Louis. He is a gem.
Right.
And they are now begging him all around the country to come and run their whole school district.
So they prepping you for what they prepping you.
Yeah, he was my assistant principal.
Right.
And he said, this kid got talent. And this kid needs to be given a pathway to utilize it.
Right.
So he allowed me to control all of the youth programming in high school at 15. And so at 15, me and my history teacher teamed up to put together a company. And I was in control of all of the different, talent, any talent shows, any Def Jam shows. I brought Rhyme Fest to the school to pass around a Grammy. I think I did my first peace march when I was 15, had hundreds of folks with politicians down 47 to King Drive to 63rd and King Drive in the winter. So we was always doing something. So that was kind of that first pathway. And it was Devon Horton, the superintendent of DeKalb County now, but he was my assistant principal who was like, nah, he need a pathway.
Hold on, man. Where did this come from? Who you think you are? Who the fuck do you think you do? I'ma be me. Where did you get this self-confidence to where you just...
You know what? Where did I get it from? I think it was in me. It was always in me. Since I was a young boy, it was in me. I was going back to daycare, man. I probably can. I probably could
I'm not
put
fucking with you, man.
He's like, man, it's block time.
For real.
I ain't talking about no naps.
I could probably take it back to daycare. And I had a daycare in the hood. Her name was Miss Val. She probably gonna watch this because she was still one of my biggest supporters.
Shout out to Miss Val.
And I was leading all of the Christmas shows, the holiday shows, singing in front. She was telling my mom, "Oh, he can sing." And I was commanding stages as a young boy.
Because he can really sing, y'all, too. So he ain't capping. He motherfucking sing.
And she was kind of the first to discover that as a daycare teacher who was pushing me out there, being leading these different, holiday shows. You know what I'm saying? So it was always in me. I always was my own self and kind of doing my own thing.
Now, let me ask you this, because I definitely understand the importance of having those, those individuals in the school setting and stuff like that. In the home, with your parents, did they offer that same form of support as well?
So I was raised with a single mom since I was born. My dad was on the west side. My mom was on the south side. So she was holding it down, you know, for the majority of the time. And my mom is the biggest hustler in the world. And so she wasn't the most affectionate mom, right? But she was the hustling mom. So that's where I saw my drive come from, right? My mom was working all day. She'll be selling jogging suits and selling at the club, selling this, selling that. You know what I'm saying? Literally all day, every day, she was working.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And while it took time away from us, you feel me? And we had to explore that as we grew up. That also taught all of her kids to be born driven hustlers, right? And that's what we all are. So I definitely would take that from her of she always was on the grind at every time of the day.
So that's where that serial entrepreneurship
that's where it came from. For sure. My mom, she bought the house we was in, and then she started saving up money, started buying abandoned houses. She didn't have no money to put into it, but she'd buy it. You know what I'm saying? She was just the risk to she was a risk taker, hustler. I one time I looked my mama owned this. She didn't tell her she owned this. abandoned building she done bought for $16,000
Right.
that she ain't touched in years. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And she ended up finally coming up with some money, fixing it up, and moving into it. You feel me? When
What
we
did
became
she
adults,
do? How
so.
did she come by? What
So
was
she been at the post office for almost 35 years.
Oh man, my mother 33 years.
33 of
retired.
my man, 35 for my mom, 41 for my grandma.
Oh, that's
right?
what's up.
So
man.
I come from a post office family, and so she literally was working at the post office, saving her bread up, going to the credit union, getting a little loan here, buying properties, selling stuff. So she was always hustling.
Right.
Always.
Yeah.
That's where I got it from.
You know, it's important to have those influences, you know, in front of you, you know, it could, a lot of times, you know, when it comes to like the, you know, this generation or just even in my generation, you know, I got more than a few years in front of you.
Yeah.
Seeing those people to spark something to say, hey, you know what, I can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that brings me to, you know, the mentorship that you're doing with the youngsters, man. Like, tell me what got you into that? You know, like what made you say, hey, man, this is important. I think this is something I need to do.
Well, that's what I had. My mom, because she was a single mom, and you know, my dad was on the west side, and so what she would do is she would always put me around other men, right? Like her best friend he took me to camp every summer. You know what I'm saying? Which the camp changed my life. It's called Simba Camp, and it's still active. Safe in my brother's arms and safe in my sister's arms. So you do a boy and a girl's camp, and it is a powerful camp where we go, you know, probably an hour or two away on a campsite for a week or two. You know. And so it was other mentors. I had a mentor, Mr. Payman Rami, who was been mentoring me since I was 9. And the reason how he mentored me is I had a substitute, which was his wife, and she was finna put me out. And she was like, I need his mom up here. So my mom came up there, and we was in the hallway, and she was telling my mom about how bad I was. And then her husband was coming down the hallway, and she said, you know what? I want him to meet my husband. And I met her husband. We had the same birthday, everything about me is the same as him, how he was. He was like, I'm taking him under my wing. And that's how I had a mentor in him. And he casted me in my first movie when I was 12 years old, because he's a big time film producer. His name is Mr. Payman Rami. And Robert Townsend saw a lot in me and wrote me into the script.
Boys and Men. Yeah.
Robert Townsend, the great, he's from Five Hot.
Yeah, he's from the city.
And he was like, I like this kid. He wrote me into the script.
Right.
I want to slow this up real quick, because anybody who watching this, the key to what he's saying, irregardless of what he was doing, he was getting into trouble and doing all the different things, he listened. When they came about with advice or whatever it is, he knew what he wanted to do, so he listened. Mm-hmm. So this is what I because you ran for mayor twice. 2019 was the first tryout, and recently. But I say, well, what's the criteria for running for mayor? What's his credentials? What do you got to have in order to run for mayor? So I had to look it up. Mm-hmm. So you got to be 18 years old, a registered voter, a resident of Chicago, without debt, unpaid tax, lien, or obligation to the city of Chicago, without a felony conviction for any infamous crime, bribery, or perjury. Mm-hmm. Candidate also got to have minimum of 12,500 signatures and filed at the Board of Election Commissions between November 15th and November 22nd. So it says nothing about your job title. It says nothing about race. It says nothing how much money you got, your education. If you got these things, you can go out there and you can make a difference in the city of Chicago.
100%.
So this is what you looked at and said, you know what, I'm qualified.
100%. I knew I was more qualified than everybody else in the race. I have not seen a mayoral candidate step up who actually are from us, who understand us. And so I needed to make sure that there was a voice in there. And we made the biggest statement ever. So the first time I actually dropped out before the ballot. So the last time was actually technically my first run. Right. It's the first time that people were ever able to vote for me. So we made the biggest statement. We had the biggest campaign, the most visible campaign around the country. I beat several politicians, where all of them spent millions. So we were able to show what can happen if people come together. And the writing is on the wall for them. They already know.
What made you say, you know what, man, I can do this?
Yeah.
I'm qualified, and I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
I was fighting mayors for so long that it was like, I was looking at who was running for mayor, and I'm like, man, that's some BS. Because I was Rahm's biggest critic. After I was the put the guns down ambassador for the city when I was 18, right? So knowing that what Rahm did with Laquan McDonald and leading that movement, and we was shutting downtown down with 5,000 deep every day. We was going to his house. I'm the first to ever go to a politician's house. You know what I'm saying?
just pulled up.
I'm like, hey, we going to Rahm's house. You know what I'm saying? And we watched him walk around his house. We went to Rahm's house like 7 times. And
I got binoculars.
Rahm hates me for that. Still to this day, he hates me for that. But it was my point of, we're going to make him uncomfortable. We uncomfortable, but make you uncomfortable.
Right.
And so they was sending pizza to us while we was outside his crib. Every minute, it was a new pizza delivery because Twitter, it was all over. Everybody watching it live. Yeah. So they was like, send them food. So they, so we always eating pizza. We outside chanting and watching him walk around his house on the phone. And so watching, really, really fighting the politicians and understanding politics, that made me understand politics more by actually being a part of what was going on.
Right.
And actually stepping up to say, police need body cameras. And then Rahm said, all right, give them body cameras. Police need tasers. Rahm said, give them tasers. So being responsible for a lot of the different policies that happened, I was able to watch who controlled what and how it happened. And that kind of made me learn politics early.
But the way you phrase it, the way you tell it, it's too simplistic. It can't. This is the Chicago political machine.
Yeah.
This is Chicago. Yeah. This is what when Martin Luther King came through, man, he was afraid of Chicago. he went through Cicero, and he had to double check and rethink about. This is so. Where was the seed planted? Tell me about Ken Bennett. Who is Ken Bennett?
Well, Ken Bennett is he's actually Chance the Rapper's father. Me and Chance grew up together, but me and Chance, we both took different pathways, and we always kind of butt heads, growing up. Actually, Chance and his group stole my phone when I was 14.
What kind of phone was it?
I don't even remember what kind of phone. It was one of the first touch screens. What I'm saying? Just coming out like stole my phone, man. Anyway. So Chance was getting in a lot of trouble around that time, and him and his father was really beefing because his dad was chief of staff to Obama in the White House, So he he was a huge political figure behind the scenes,
right?
And Chance was out there, doing stupid stuff, getting into fights, arrested, etc. And so I was the young kid that loved politics in the community, and so his dad cuffed me.
Right.
And so I think that's a little part of why me and Chance butt heads, because he was like, he got a closer relationship with my dad than I do. Right.
You listen. You the nigga that listen, huh?
And, right. But we just enjoyed the same things.
Right.
So we kicking and talking politics. Oh, where we go? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he made me to put the guns down. He was deputy. He came after Obama sent Rahm to be the mayor, and he sent Ken to be the deputy mayor. And so Ken was the deputy mayor for Chicago. And he made me to put the guns down ambassador for the city.
Right.
And I was the face of the campaign with the peace sign, and I was going in all the at-risk schools, 17, 18 years old, putting on programming for violence around the schools. So, we just enjoyed the same things. And he is where I learned, like, we all pushed him out of there. Once the ship was sinking, with Laquan McDonald, like, Ken, quit.
Right.
We will come up like,
he can't go down with this.
No, he can't go down. We finally got him to quit early. But that was kind of how I saw politics, and Ken protected me from Rahm.
Right.
When I was a put the guns down ambassador before the Laquan McDonald movement, I always was mad. I always would go up to City Hall yelling at Ken and the staff about how am I continuously doing these things around violence, but the mayor hasn't showed up one time in the hood. He ain't showed up one time at these schools.
Right.
Not nowhere with me, right? And Ken was like, son, you will understand later.
Well, he ain't black. He's Jewish, man. He Rahm Emanuel.
So let me ask you this. Do you understand?
I understand. I understand. Ken made sure Rahm never got next to me.
Right.
And he made sure that Rahm, it ain't a picture of me and Rahm nowhere. So when the ship sunk, I was nowhere near a pitch. They could never say that I was ever close to Rahm.
That was suave. Yeah.
And he kept Rahm away from me. He said, "You just go and do what you do, and we backing you.
Right.
You don't need Rahm." But I was mad, like, hell no, I'm doing this for the city. The mayor need to be here.
Now, and give us an idea the age you are at this point.
I'm 17, 18. Yeah. Yep. So I was the young boy. 18,
so you ain't out hanging at 18 years old. I want everybody to kind of picture this. So you 18, either you in college, you're in the streets trying to stay out of prison, you may be thinking about going to the military, but it's only so many options at 18 years old, and you talking about fighting the government, making a difference in the city of Chicago.
Yeah. You know what? I never hung out with the young people when I was young, right? Like I was always hanging with the principals, with the teacher, with Ken, the deputy mayor, you know what I'm saying? Like I was always around business folks and folks who were just, even in the streets. I come from a street family, but I come from real OGs. You feel me? So at no point was I ever with young people who wasn't really, you know what I'm saying, on nothing or partying. Right. I wasn't the smoker, the drinker. I want to go to parties. I was head focused on how to change, like make an impact on the world, and so I was just different. But all the kids follow me because of that, right? They all idolize me because they like, nah, Jaymal ain't on that. Right. Or we riding with Jaymal, you know what I'm saying? So it kind of like, I have my own pathway to be like, the voice for all the young people behind me because they like, he different from us.
Now, what did it feel like at that young age to have so much influence?
Man, it was crazy. I think, me, what I always tried to do was I always tried to get everybody to understand that I'm just them.
Right.
And I'm that same person today. I've been famous and influential since I was a teenager, right? I've never since then ever like made myself above people.
Right.
Or made myself inaccessible or, acted like I was more than. I'm always in the hoods. I pull up in hood. I don't care, Moji. I don't care what it is. Mm-hmm. They respect me all over the city because I'm going to pull up in the hood.
Is that because you love your city?
Say that again?
Is that because you love the city?
Yeah, it's because I love this city. And I want people to understand that just because, like, yeah, I got influence, but I'm one of y'all. And if we all do this together, we can get further.
Right.
You feel me? So when they was beefing with, the gangs was beefing with the Latinos back during COVID, Live Village.
Yeah.
I made calls. I'm on the phone with OGs from both sides. You feel me?
Hold up, man.
Hold right up at midnight.
I got to say this.
Squash it.
Because he's right about what he's saying, but I went to YouTube, man. You an R&B nigga. Hold up, man. You talking about a nigga? I went to YouTube, seeing you, nigga. You sing.
What you trying to say? R&B nigga can't
R&B
these issues.
R&B can be thugs.
Like you R&B nigga.
Nigga be with the shit.
What's the name of the song? Trance.
I seen that nigga. For sure, I sing R&B.
Yeah.
But number one, I'm from the streets.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Hey, and everybody know it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, one thing about it is I come from the streets.
That's right.
I come from real street dudes.
Right.
So I think that piece of me is the biggest piece.
So
you feel what I'm saying?
Tell us what you see out there in the streets and with the issues in Chicago. You love your city. We talk a lot about Chicago on the show.
For sure.
So you give us a little view of what you see and what you think you can, affect out there.
Well, what I see is that folks not empowered, man. There are folks in the neighborhoods. There's so many talented people in our hoods, man, who are doing everything they can just to survive.
Right.
That if they were empowered or given direction, they'll be amazing. I always say, man, like we smarter than Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
Right.
The problem is that these neighborhoods oppress or limit your potential, whether it be your schooling, whether it be the finances, whether it be the environment that you grow up in. I mean folks every day in the hood, man, that's why I love the people who have the least. Those people teach me the most because usually those people are the smartest people and have the most to give.
Yeah.
The person who taught me the most in life is my brother. His name Dado. He died. He OD'd about a year and a half ago. And that was my biggest supporter, the most smartest person I know, most dependable person I know, who in the hood, and his circumstances were the circumstances because of his mental state.
Right.
But he was functionally like the best person that you could ever meet. He taught me when, I mean, I don't care what it was. I scraped the paint. I scraped something and it had paint on my car.
Right.
I pull up to the gas station. Man, I didn't scrape my car. Man, that ain't nothing. Go get a towel, put a little gasoline on it, and wipe that paint right off. And I was like, damn. You feel me? Like, I don't care what it was at every level. But when I had my first, when I was finna have my first child, the first person that know to give me advice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he ain't got no money. I'm taking care of him. But he has so much to give in his spirit, and his wisdom, and his love that, you know, I just understand how much potential our hoods have, because these folks, man, they're out here just surviving. But if they was given a pathway, they'd be thriving better than any race.
Absolutely, man. I 1,000% agree with it. And seeing that you put your money where your mouth is, speaking of your generational green and your other initiatives that you bring forward. Share with us other things that you're doing out here to help empower, the community and the youth.
Yeah.
Specifically.
One, economics is one, right? Because when I talk about everybody being in survival, it's that economic, it's the economics.
Right.
That don't trickle down to these neighborhoods. You feel me? So we gotta have a system that powers entrepreneurs.
Right.
We gotta make sure. So me, one of the big things that I do is I help entrepreneurs get funding, right? I run a micro loan company and help facilitate loans so that they can get funding for their business. And I invest personally in business owners, Black business owners who have the passion and the wherewithal, but they don't have the finances.
Right.
Which is why in a couple of weeks, it's going to be the first Black woman-owned crematory in the state of Illinois. Nobody know that. So y'all got the exclusive.
Yes.
And that was because it was a Black woman who been in the game 30 years, making millions for the biggest funeral home in the state for the last 20 years, and she's never had her own and wanted her own. Well, she now finna have her own, and I invested all of the money to do it. You feel me? So like investing in entrepreneur, I got a young boy who was 20. He's 26 now. He's been with me for many years now, since he was almost 20, and he just he's one of the weirdest kids. He was one of the weirdest kids of technology. I'm like, I'm building a robot for the lawnmower and all these, one of them.
Right.
I was like, he's smart, right? And now I invested in him, and now he is the president of a big solar panel company, one of the only equity eligible contractors in the state, and leads the Urban League and as the instructor for solar, right? And just put him in his first house in the last 6 months. 26 years old, own his own home, president of a solar panel company, and an instructor for new folks who want to get into solar. You feel me?
No,
really like man, investing in folks who have that passion and wherewithal to help them become millionaires. When I look at the end of my life, I want to look back and see how many millionaires, how many folks have I empowered economically.
Right.
Because that's what my vision is. Not for me to just make millions. That's nothing. But how many people have I empowered to get in position so that they can empower others?
So speaking on that, where did you learn finances?
That's a good question. I learned finances from just kind of being around financial folks and just taking it. I'm a sponge.
Right.
There is nothing that I don't hear and see. I can be anywhere.
Say that one more time.
I'm a sponge. You feel me?
Nothing that you
There's
don't
nothing
hear
I
and
don't
see.
hear and see. I don't care what it is. I see every gesture. I see every word. I hear every word. I see everything. That was a gift that I was given.
Right.
So I can be in a room and 100 people can be talking. I'm gonna hear all 100 people.
Right.
That's what. Yeah.
I'm gonna hear everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to look up and they, because you said this. And they're gonna be like, damn, you was listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it just go in. I may not be focused in on it. It just go in and it just sparks in my head. You feel me? So that's how I was growing up. So as I was watching folks with money in the streets, counting money, you feel me? As a young boy, around different business folks, listening to how they doing things, I was just soaking it all up and then kind of putting a pathway together and then learning. And I was always one with my grandma. My grandma used to get mad at me because I never slept. I used to stay on the computer all day and all night. And she used to be mad, telling my mama, because I had left my mama house at 15. I was like, I'm going to live with my grandma, right? And because my mama wanted me to do things her way. And
Right.
traditionally, you're going to go to school, you're going to do this, do that.
And you're a rebel.
Right. I'm a rebel. No,
Right.
I got my own company. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And my grandma was like, my grandma had me. And I knew that my mama couldn't whip me at my grandma's house. You feel me? So I knew I had
Right.
that protection.
Right.
My grandma going to step up, get out.
Right.
You know, she'd put my mama out plenty of times. I sat there on the couch like, bye-bye, mama.
Like,
And
so, I'll holler at you when you get back.
Oh, my mom was like, I'm gonna get you. You
Right.
feel me? And but I was always on the computer, man. 24 hours a day, I'll be on that computer. I'm searching how to write the best proposals. I'm searching on Google all the different things, templates to this, finance to this. And I was literally teaching myself how to, really do this. So with my company, we got contracts at 16. When I was 16 years old, I had contracts in 15 states because I used to call around to different school districts. Say, how you doing? Yes, this is Jaymal Green. I sent over our proposal for our program. Wanted to see if you got it. Oh, Mr. Green, yeah, we got it. We're looking it over. And they'll hit me back. Oh yeah, we'll set aside $1,000 for this. I'm going to schools making $1,000 a day. 16.
Teaching what? What are you?
I'm doing anti-bullying programs, anti-violence programs. So all your young celebrities, Emmanuel Hudson, Jacob Lattimore, Diggy
That's
Simmons.
when I seen Jason.
They always around me.
Right.
Going on my tours. Them was our tours.
Right.
As a young boy. Going to schools all around the country. You
Right.
feel me? Before they became who they are. Shamik Moore, from he on Dope, the star Dope and stuff. He was all performing with me.
Buddy, he played with the Wu-Tang.
Yeah, they was all performing with
yeah.
me as young boys, right?
Yeah.
So we was going school to school. One time I had 30 schools in Atlanta. One time I had to get an apartment out there for a few months. You feel me? And I'm 16 years old.
Right.
Well, hold up, man, because he gassing right now. This is what I want y'all to listen to and pay attention because he's saying a lot of things. Don't miss this. Being smart is cool.
Yeah.
He wore glasses like me. At one point in time, glasses would you had to be you had to be cut a certain way.
Oh yeah.
So I want y'all listen, man. I'm so proud and listening to you, man, and how you break down everything you're breaking down. But you got to. I need you to go back a little bit.
Okay.
I need you to go back. I need you to break down to me. Running for mayor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sitting up there. When I listen to you talk to these they damn near your elders.
Yeah.
You ain't.
They are my elders.
You ain't afraid. You ain't flinching. You speaking with the confidence and the know-how.
Yeah.
As if you've done this before.
Yeah.
How is it possible? How is it possible, man, that you sitting up there carrying yourself the way you carry yourself? Because we see everything you just said.
Yeah.
How is that possible, man?
Well, man, again, one, it was in me. Two, I studied.
Stay there. Talk to me
I
about
studied.
studying. Stay there. Stay there.
I would sit and watch every mayor we've had. I watched their videos. I watched and I went and looked
the Honorable Harold Mayor Washington.
Yeah, Mayor Washington, Daley,
Eugene
was,
Sawyer.
Yeah, so Daley was one of my big focal points because Daley knew how to control the whole city.
He did.
So I studied Daley the most.
22 years.
I wanted to figure out how can he speak to everybody and get them to be okay with him being mayor, even though everybody saw he was doing corrupt things.
Right.
But he had the ability to make everybody happy enough to leave him alone.
Right.
I studied that backwards and forward. I studied his speech. I studied how Daley talked to black people. Daley used to get in front of black people with the most charismatic speeches. And he used to say things to really pull black. One time when Walmart, he brought the first Walmart to town.
Yep.
He had a speech. He had pastors there. And he was talking about how everybody didn't support him bringing Walmart to town. And he's doing this passionate speech. Now y'all want to support me, and doing his whole passionate speech. He said, Walmart's not perfect. Everybody's not perfect. But that's why we have pastors. And that's why we pray. And he looked up. All the pastors stepped up. Everybody standing ovation. I was like, this is crazy.
But you got to have some charisma to be a politician, right?
Right.
You
gotta have that charisma.
Yeah.
And you have to understand how to speak to every individual group.
There we go.
He knew how easy it was to pull on the Christian strings in black people.
Right.
And he was good at it. Oh man, he was amazing at it.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
And I think so I studied like crazy, and I studied Obama. You know, the oratory competition that I won when I was young was with an Obama speech. Obama was, you know, one of the first people that in politics that inspired me as a young boy.
Audacity of Hope is somewhere in that book.
Yeah, and he's also one of the biggest disappointments that I've experienced as well. Obama personally banned me from his events after I was going out the Rahm Emanuel. So, you know, I was able to really watch politics, study, and prepare for that moment.
Right.
Okay,
let
me ask you this.
Yeah.
Give me your top 5 mayors of Chicago.
Ain't no such thing.
Ain't no such thing?
I had that down.
Ain't no such thing.
So
You know, Harold Washington.
let's go worst to least.
Worst to least worst. You know what? All the mayors been terrible. I think that Harold Washington, he wasn't able to do what he wanted because he has such short time.
Right.
And so, but he was able to show us what can be done if somebody come and take that mantle, right?
Right.
Whether it was he created black millionaires, making sure that black folks got their share of contracts in the city. And that's why a lot of these older millionaires are still millionaires because it happened under him, right?
Jesse White.
And so there are a lot of different things that he did economically that I paid attention to. Daley was great in regards that he knew how to run the city, make the city run.
Right.
And one of the biggest things that he did that made him a great leader is that everybody under him, he allowed them to lead their own departments. And I think when you get into a full dictatorship, which other mayors have tried to do, like Lori, that's when you have a problem. Because if I appoint you as head of the park districts, something go wrong with the park districts that I talk about, I got to own that.
Right.
But if I say, go head to park districts, and then when something go wrong, I fire you, now it's like, hey, y'all see, I wasn't with that. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But when you are a mayor trying to dictate every department, you own what happens in every department.
Absolutely.
And so what Daley did well was that he said, all right, you the head of CPD, you the head of the park district, you the head of CPS. Go out, this is what I want, but go out there and do what you feel is best.
Right.
But once the public come and want your neck, it's your neck.
Right.
Right.
It ain't gonna fall on me.
He allowed folks to lead and go out there, and they knew that it was their neck if they messed up, instead of you going in every department trying to dictate. And I think that was one of the biggest things I learned from Daley and how I will run the city and how I will run the city.
Okay, Jaymal, now the Dalton mayor, Tiffany Henyard. What's your thoughts? I know you got some thoughts on it.
It wasn't me.
Man.
It wasn't. You say what? Is it? You got that?
You know what? That sister, let me say it. I was one of the first people early on before she ran. She was a trustee to be next to her. And I came out there because she was rebelling against the system, and she was the loud young voice on the trustee board against the mayor. They like, Jaymal, man, go out there and, you know, check out what's going on. This is young sister Tiffany Henyard. We need to run her for mayor. And I went out there and we got a little relationship, and I kind of, you know, helped her a little bit. When she became mayor, man, you know what? It's rough out there right now.
It is. Dalton is.
And, you know,
Yeah.
I'm disappointed to see what's happening in Dalton. I'm disappointed when I see young people first of all, it's hard for young people to get in position.
Right.
And I hate when young people get in position and it turns out like this, because we are better. But we also have to we got to make sure that we putting young people in there that's kind of ready to navigate the water.
But she was set up from the word go. I mean, if you've been to Dalton, she couldn't. It would have taken a lot for her to turn that town around.
Yeah, 100%. I think the difference is that she's not as competent as I would have liked her to be going in, right? And I think it's one thing to be from the trenches, and you know, we want to put folks in there, but we also got to have folks from the trenches that have enough smarts and wherewithal.
You got to be savvy.
You got to be savvy.
Yeah,
you feel me? And so you got those who are savvy, and you got those who just from the trenches. And so, you know, at the end of the day, I got some guys from the trenches who I wouldn't put in leadership nowhere. You feel me?
Right.
But we can put them in a certain place where they can be well, you know what I'm saying, and do what they good at.
Because her issues is not turning it around. Her issues is taking.
Yeah. Mismanagement of the money.
But that's my point.
Yeah,
that's my point. You know, when you're not savvy, and you don't understand how to run government, or understand how to get involved in an entity where you know how to play with it the way you want to play with
right.
it.
Yeah, move things around.
Listen, come on, man. We've had the most corrupt politicians in the state.
Yeah.
Daily on down who funnel millions to family and everybody, families and everybody and their friends, right?
Yeah.
So if you savvy, then if you was on that, it wouldn't even be out here like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's about understanding how to be savvy and understanding how to control perception too.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's what she don't have.
You
She's
think
doing some
power
very
got
corrupt
anything
things.
to do with that? Because I know once you get to power is addictive.
Power,
when people can't tell you nothing no more, you got your henchmen. You like, goddamn it, I'll roll up on you.
Handle this. Snooki.
Power, you know what? Power is only addictive for those folks who are not who don't understand how to navigate it.
Right.
And I think I've been in powerful spaces and you know, I got a powerful name and you know, I have some sort of power in many different ways. But I don't look to utilize my power in certain ways either. I know how to navigate. You get what I'm saying? If I need to use my power, I know how to use my power.
Right.
You just got to understand how to maneuver power. But some people, when they don't understand that, they're not competent enough to understand how to maneuver power, then they're gonna be in a position.
But it goes back to who give you the game.
Yeah.
So who's sitting at the table with you?
For sure.
You know, one thing I wanted to ask you, I looked it up because we talking about a sanctuary city. So we know right now the big topic is immigration and the flood of immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked it up, it says that the Honorable Harold Mel Washington in 1985
he did.
was the one who really made Chicago a sanctuary city.
Correct.
But his intentions wasn't what it turned out to be
Of
now.
course not. Yeah.
So what's your take on what's going on in the city?
Well, see, the difference is a sanctuary city is not the migrant crisis. Sanctuary city is just saying that we ain't gonna listen. If y'all come over here, we ain't gonna snitch on y'all. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's basically what sanctuary city is.
Right.
We ain't gonna let ICE. We ain't gonna let our police tell ICE where you at. ICE got to do their own job.
Right.
Right. That does not say that migrants can come in by the boatloads and we got to take care of them.
Yeah.
So I think people got to understand that sanctuary city is just you have sanctuary here.
Right.
I'm not gonna snitch on you.
Right.
But that don't mean you can bring 50,000 of your friends. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
That don't mean invite the whole entire town.
Yeah, that don't mean you can bring your whole country with you. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Just let a few people know, hey, you know.
Right.
And I think what happened is with the migrant crisis is they took it to a new level.
Right.
Where now it became more of an agenda to, I think, a voting agenda, a future voting agenda. And a future economic agenda. And I think black folks got shorted in this. You know, we've been asking for the same things that they're getting.
Right.
And we're citizens and we have 400 years, hundreds of years of oppression behind us and slavery behind us. You know, we just aren't unified enough to be able to force the powers that be to do what needs to be done.
Right.
And because we're not unified, because everybody doing their own thing, because we always fighting against each other, they like, they're going to fight anyway. Half the people going to ride with us, half ain't. Who cares?
Right.
While they get all of the money. We spent over $1 billion in the last year on the migrant crisis. We've not seen that type of investment into us ever.
Yeah.
In 1 year,
Yeah.
$1 billion. We can barely get them to dedicate $10 million to this or $15 million to this. You talking about $1 billion in 1 year? Tell me you're gonna give black people $1 billion every year. I'll show you how to change the state.
Is Brandon Johnson? Is that his name? Brandon?
Yes.
Is he a one-term mayor? Because we know he gave what we had like $1 billion in the COVID fund.
Yeah, he gave them $95 million of the COVID fund dollars. Brandon Johnson is a one-term mayor. I don't think anybody expected him to be a long-term mayor. I'll go as far as to say he's one of the worst mayors we've ever had. If you want to say worse, Brandon Johnson would probably be the worst.
Why
break
is
that
that?
down.
But
Break that down.
I'm gonna break it. I've been knowing Brandon Johnson since I was a teenager. Let me just make that clear. When I was telling y'all about some guys you don't just put in leadership position,
Right.
he was one of them. Okay, he was one of the most. I mean, brain fried. Okay,
Right.
The point is this. Listen, Brandon, while his heart
You got
can
a
be
good
in
heart. You got a good heart.
he got a good heart.
Right. Bless his heart.
But he don't understand leadership.
Right.
And I would have never elected him to nothing in my life. And I've been knowing him since I was a teenager. As a brother, call oh man, we've had breakfast. So you know what I'm saying? Like, cool. And I think what happened was the union kept him as a puppet, and they wanted to puppet him as mayor so that they can get their agenda.
Right.
But as far as leadership, Brandon Johnson has never been in a leadership position. I mean, he was a teacher for 2 years, and he was working for the teachers union.
So how did he get
That's
there?
his resume. The teachers union spent $10 million to buy the election.
Oh,
And
wow.
So what happens is you had Stacey Davis Gates, who was fighting with Lori, because remember all the teacher strikes and things of that sort. She hated Lori so much that she went to the other teachers unions in the state and around the country and said, this mayor has to go, and we need to rally around somebody. And so Stacey was supposed to run for mayor, but they polled her against Lori and said they don't want another angry black woman.
Right.
And so what happened is they said, we have to find someone quick. And Stacey said, well, I'm picking my brother Brandon.
Right.
Brandon became the teachers union.
Was he a politician beforehand?
So, yes. So he was he did a couple years as a commissioner. They puppeted him to beat Richard Boykin. Richard Boykin was the biggest voice against the sugar tax.
Right.
So if y'all remember the sugar
remember
tax,
that shit, yeah.
So Tony Preckwinkle pushed for the sugar tax. So what happened was Richard Boykin was her biggest critic. And so she went to the teachers union and said, look, I need somebody to fight Richard Boykin to get him off of the commissioner, right? Because he keep on coming out against me. So they was like, well, we got Brandon. And they was like, okay, cool. It's just a little small commissioner seat. We need 10,000 votes. And they put up Brandon Johnson to fight him.
Right.
But then the mayoral race came, and then they grabbed him to run for mayor.
So you really think the teachers union bought the election?
Oh, the
He
teacher,
just
for
told
sure.
you that.
For
He said,
sure.
I don't think.
Yeah, I know
No,
that,
for
but I
sure.
want them to
Yeah.
expound a little bit.
No, I mean, the teacher union bought the election. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Well,
I mean,
money gonna always be
Yeah.
the
Brandon
So
Johnson.
then Trump is right then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brandon
Yeah.
Johnson.
He's
all
on
of Brandon Johnson's money came from the teachers union. There was no other
special
money.
interest group is
Yeah.
always at the front and the back of every deal.
Right. Yeah. So there's no doubt. Everyone knows that, which is why everybody in the city say Stacey Davis Gates is the mayor, because she powered, his campaign.
Right.
So at the end of the day, that's what happened. What happens when you have money, you kind of put the worst people in the race to the top, and that's what you had.
So you can manipulate
Mhm.
what goes
Right.
on.
So the people who people love that are actually the good people, now they looking at them like, well, they ain't got no chance because they got $10 million. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And so now you kind of overshadow the people who could have been the best mayors, and you put the worst ones in who they're controlling. And
Let
that's
me
what happened.
ask you this: when I was listening, 'cause I listened to about maybe 6 or 7 of your debates, 45 minutes apiece, and some of them I ran back
Mhm.
again.
Yeah.
What's the sister out of not Inglewood, the sister that was in the race with
Hyde
y'all?
Park, Sophia King.
Hyde Park.
Mhm.
Talk to me about her, because a lot of times she would always piggyback on like, I agree with Jaymal Green. She,
They all did.
they did.
There was no one in this race who had their own, outside of one. I'll say I give credit to Paul Vallis, because he'd
Former
been
superintendent.
former superintendent. He'd been around for many years, so he did have his own plans. But outside of Paul, no one else had their own plan. Brandon was a robot the whole race.
Right.
Sophia was a robot. Everybody were robots, because what happened, so I credit myself with changing the mayoral landscape of the campaigns last time I ran. Every race, when you ran for mayor before the last time I ran, all you had to do is be like, oh, well, I've been CEO of this and I've been an elected official. You didn't really have to give plans.
Right.
You just had to run on who you are.
Yeah. Give them your resume.
Give them your resume and put money on your name and let people pick. And what I did last round was I was like, I'm not finna just go out there, you know what I'm saying? Because they already look at me young. So I'm going out there showing them tangible plans on how we're gonna fix everything.
Right.
And that's what changed the landscape. So last time I was the only one who did it. Everybody else ran as, they resume. And so this time everybody was like, all right, we got to try to come up with something. You get what I'm saying? Because Jaymal keep coming up with these ideas. We either got to take his ideas or come up with our own.
Right.
Most of the time they just took my ideas. You know what I'm saying? Or they said, well, I agree with Jaymal that we should do this. Or I agree. They didn't come up with their own tangible, like, tell me my idea is bad and how yours is better. They couldn't
Okay,
do
so
it.
let's go there. I want you to tell me about, because police reform, defunding the police, and one thing you say, like, man, quit talking to me about the police.
Yeah.
That was your stance on
That was
everything.
my biggest video.
The police was always a
Millions of
solution to the
views.
problem about
Yeah.
whatever they address when it come to crime, how to get young people to act right.
Yeah.
So what's your stance on the police and young people, getting young people in a better position to...
Well, here's what you got to understand, and this is why I understand. I understand this from a higher level.
Right.
The interests of police will always be protected. That's what we don't understand. That Fraternal Order of Police Union, the all-white union, is the most powerful union in the country.
It is.
So we got to understand that the police will always be protected. I don't care who's the mayor. They going to get their budget. You get what I'm saying? They ain't letting nobody come in and just knock off half the police department. It'll never happen, right? Because the union contract is so strong that it would take you forever trying to knock off pieces of that contract. You feel me? Because it's so ironclad, and so many mayors have agreed to more and more over the years that it's hard to backtrack in one term or two terms. It's not going to happen. So my point was, let's stop talking about police, right? Because the police strategies is not what's going to change these neighborhoods. We know we're going to have all these police officers, but we need to focus on what we don't have. And that is investments into certain, creating middle-class jobs, investment in the trade and manufacturing, investment into economic development. Like, let's talk about creating jobs and opportunities for the people in these neighborhoods and addressing the mental health of young people and starting school at 3, have a universal 3K so that we can start stimulating minds as young as 3 years old. Let's talk about changing the dynamic, right? And not talk about police. And that was what my strategy was. Brandon took that strategy and he ran with it and won with it.
Well, now they're talking about taking police.
He just can't implement it though.
Right.
They talking about taking police out of the schools now. They saying something about...
They are. It's already happening.
So now when I grew, I went to CVS. I went to Crane, I went to Krieger. Every high school I went to, you had to walk through a metal detector.
It was all bad.
Right.
Yeah. So, but the police was always present. So now you're talking about the removal of the police.
Yeah. Were they police or security guard? Just make sure.
No, they was
police.
It was always
the
police.
I went to Bogan. We always had two. We had, I think, four cops.
Okay.
That was there regularly.
I got arrested in school when I was a freshman. So I understand. I had a white teacher say he was intimidated because I raised my voice. And they arrested me and deemed that as assault, right? It didn't go nowhere, but it was the point of them putting me in handcuffs to take me to the police room.
Right.
Because this white man said that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, this was really happening, which is why I don't oppose not having police in schools. You get what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we need to stop focusing on police. Here's what happens. Police is the hot button topic.
Right.
If we focus on police, everybody, you can go out there. This is what the politicians always done. I'm going to hire more police. We're electing that person. You have to say nothing else. Because for some reason, people believe that safety is police.
Yep.
Right.
So that means that all you have to do is run on the fact that you're going to support the police and you'll win. Which, if we keep doing that, we'll never address what's really going on.
Right.
And that's what I was saying. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we can go out there all day long, just say, oh, I'm just going to support the police and win, but actually never tackle the real problem.
So break down your mental health, break down the hours. You were saying 4 days on, 3 days. I like how you were saying that to
for the police, yeah. I was
effective.
gonna make it more effective for the police department. And we got the most suicides in the country in the police department. We got the number one in suicide.
In Chicago?
Yeah. We have the number one police department with the most suicides in the country, right? And we have for the last few years. So what I proposed was we need to change the workday. It need to be a 4-day workday, 3-day off. You get what I'm saying? We need to make sure that there's a certain number of counselors to the ratio of police officers in every police district. I was going to make sure that they was good too, right? I was cool with that. But I'm going to focus on these other real issues. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is creating mental health clinics that's not like a mental health clinic like you crazy, but actually healing houses where there's everything. It's psychiatry, it's yoga, it's boxing, is massage, is all these different ways that folks can get well and get the services that they need in the community. You know what I'm saying? Really tackle what's really going on in the neighborhoods. And we needed a real engine to power those. I wanted a public bank. I wanted to buy ComEd out and create our own municipal control the energy in the city. Like, I was talking about some real radical things.
Tell me about Chase Bank. I seen something on social media where you had the audacity and the gall to want to shut down Chase Bank, talking about what they not doing for the black community in Chicago.
Yeah, I'll be talking about this forever. It's one of my biggest legacy pieces, I say. I got the largest bank in the world to get back $1 billion. You know, I think that's pretty big.
Nah, it's huge.
They told me when I first started, I looked at the numbers and saw that Chase was only lending to black communities 1.9% of the time, from a 5-6 year period. And I said, huh? Chase Bank has the most branches. We got contracts with them to pay property taxes and in our schools. They literally control the whole banking market in the state.
Right.
And the fact that they give the least, they were the worst in giving money to black people.
This can't be so, because at the time when you was doing this, Kevin Hart was the face of Chase Bank. He had all them commercials.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they do. And so it was mind-boggling to me. So I said, okay, well, we got to go out to Chase Bank. And they said, you got to be crazy. You think you're going to get the attention of the largest bank in the world?
Right.
I said, yeah, watch me. I went out there, I did a press conference, and I gave Chase 7 days to come forward to our demands. Like, boy, Chase ain't going to respond to you. I said, I know, but I'm going to show him. Right after, I'm going to show him what's going to happen. Right after that 7 days, I put the crew together, and we start shutting down the branches. I don't do no kumbaya. I don't do the old school stuff. I don't do that singing.
You hands-on.
Said we passed kneeling.
We passed that. I'm from the streets. So we going in the branches, and we putting everybody out.
Right.
And that's what we did over and over again. And went in. Everybody finish your transactions. This bank is not closed. All employees, y'all go home, put this sign, lock these doors, and shut this branch down.
Hey, this motherfucker did that, man. I don't mean to curse. And there was one old lady in there, and she was trying to get her deposit. Her thing. He said, how much they gonna give you? He said, don't even worry about it. I'll give it to you. You remember you did that?
I did. Yeah. And she couldn't get her money out. And I gave her a couple $100.
Yeah,
I said, here you go. Go on home, baby. Yeah. Come on, everybody out this branch. You know, it caused some risks with everybody, even with our people. They like, come on, Jaymal, I need to get my money out. You can't cross this picket line.
I got about $48 in that bank.
Go find another Chase that ain't shut down. But this is what Chase would do. When I shut down one branch, they shut down every branch that's next to it.
Right.
Because they always in a group chat. They like, if he gonna go to this branch, he might go to the
next
next
one. So now, are they
one.
trying to retaliate and punish the people based off what did they ever use that tactic?
No. They tried to punish me. Yeah. And they banned me from every Chase in America. In the world, actually. I just learned that I'm banned from Chases out the country too. So, what I did was I taught my team to do the same thing. So we would go into 3 branches at one time. So we'd be on live. I had a live stream where everybody can go live on their phone at the same time all together. And they'll all be on different parts of town. So we start shutting branches down at one time, going in, shutting them down. And, they went crazy. So they started calling me, begging me to stay out the branches. I recorded every meeting. They don't even know. I got every meeting recorded. It's going to be in my documentary. And they were begging me because they really wanted me to sell out. Like, man, what can we do for you? You feel me? Me, I was like, I need $1 billion, right? You're going to do the $1 billion,
right?
Then maybe we can talk about what to do for me too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I need this $1 billion for the community. You know what I'm saying?
Hold, man, because like you capping. So you told them people you need $1 billion?
I need $1 billion. Yeah. I wasn't going from that.
So what they settle for?
$1 billion.
Now break that down, because when he said it, I had to go look, because I know, break down how you received $1 billion from Chase Bank.
So what happened? No, hold on. Let me go back a little bit.
Okay. Take your time.
So while Chase was trying to fight me,
right?
They called high level folks in the state, like, yo, this really hurting us. Branches are being shut down every day. People can't get access to their money because I shut them down on the 1st, on the 2nd. I'm shutting them down with real money is flowing.
Right.
You think you Larry Hoover, nigga? You think you Larry Hoover, nigga?
On my uncle. You feel me?
Right.
So
Chief Malik.
So, I'm shutting them down on high on purpose.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
I'm blocking, ain't no drive-throughs. I'm putting cars in front of drive-throughs. You can't come drive through on Chase. go find another one. This whole joint shut down.
Right.
You feel me? So
That's what's
the
up, man.
Cook County treasurer called me to summon me to her office. Said, do whatever you got to do. Get Jaymal Green in my office immediately.
Right.
So I go into her office, and a couple of staff, they walking me up there like, listen, they're really mad about this. This was going to really happen. I said, okay, cool, I'm cool. Go in her office. Mr. Green, what can we do for you? Jamie Dimon has called me, and I need to know what we can do to stop this because it needs to end today.
Right.
It's Cook County treasurer who control all the money from Chase that's coming in, right?
Right.
I said, well, here's my paper. I need $1 billion from Chase, and I need to disperse in these ways. We need this $600 million for loans. We need this amount of money, $8,000 per homeowner. We need this amount of money for businesses. We need this amount of money for financial literacy. I broke it all down. I gave them the whole plan. See, when I fight with an agenda.
Right.
I don't fight just to fight. I'm coming with $1 billion, and I got exactly how I want it spent.
Right.
Actionable steps.
She
You
says,
say 8,000 per homeowner.
Tell
yeah,
him
like
again.
a
Tell
down,
him motherfuckers.
a down,
Where's
down
my
payment.
8,000 at?
It was actually more. It was actually more than that on my paper, but that's what they end up giving me. It was more than that.
He
It was
wants
like,
some of that shit.
it was
Hold
like
on. I didn't get a
over
check.
15,000. It was more than that, but they end up just doing 8. But anyway, the Cook County treasurer stands up and says, "Everybody out! I want to talk to him alone." I'm sitting there looking like, the hell? Okay,
Yeah, Jordans on and Nikes and shit.
Yeah, of course. So they all leave, and she slams her door. And she sit down and said, what do you want? I can call Jamie right now and get it for you. What do you want? I need this to stop today. I said, treasurer, I told you what I want. It matters more to me that they give $1 billion
Right.
because I'm going to look real good with $1 billion saying
Right.
I got $1 billion than for y'all to give me a few dollars.
Right.
I'm good. I don't need their money, but I want $1 billion back for
Talk
Chicago.
that talk.
So I left that and I kept going. Boom. We shutting downtown down, Lincoln Park. I don't care, all over the city. I'm going to all the white areas. They like, what the hell is going on? Chase, this was going on right here. Chase, we shutting this Chase down because of these reasons, right? And one of the employees in Chase, you know, they had me banned everywhere, right? They had a letter in every Chase.
You picture it, everything.
Picture, hey. So one of the employees from Chase, wink, wink, because they somewhere around here. She was sending me a picture of the picture in Chase. She wanted to bank, and she sent me a picture in the vault. Like, this the letter they said to give to arrest you when you walk up in here. So I posted this and said, oh, okay, this is y'all alone, right? And so, you know, she like, you gonna give me 5? I'm like, it's too many Chases. They don't know who said it. But it was one of the funnest journeys though. Really, we had fun shutting down Chases all over the city. It was fun.
So the campaign took you how long before they really y'all came to the table?
It took about 6 months for them to drop that $1 billion. Yeah. So it took about 6 months. It was a short period of time.
Yes.
And you know, it was getting hard, of course. But I knew because they were saying that they were going to do something, but they wouldn't tell me what they were going to do.
Right.
So I said, listen, I'm out here in the public. I'm getting millions of views. You think I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing because you tell me you going to do something?
Right.
No. When I will stop, when I can say I got you to do something.
Right.
You feel me? I ain't going to look like I sold out. You feel me? I'm going to stop when you do something. They released a $30 billion national plan with $1 billion targeted straight for Chicago. And they even said, we thank Jaymal for making us see another way.
Very nice.
And so it was big. You feel me?
Right.
But I still don't trust them, and I will shut them down tomorrow.
Let's talk about your real estate plan you got. I see you how you involved in real estate and trying to make that a fact.
So a piece of that was, all right, I got Chase to give $1 billion. Now it's like, damn, is our people prepared for this?
Right.
So that's really what sparked, like, damn, we got to have I created a agency called My Turn to Own, which is now Generational Green, to really prepare folks and get them prepared to become homeowners, get their mindset right, and educate them on how to become a homeowner so that they can get access to this money, right? Now, Chase, I don't trust Chase. I got banned and they hate me, so it is what it is. But there are other institutions that have grant money and programs and things of that sort. So we started to bring folks through the process, and we want to do it in a mass way. So that's what Generational Green is about. We're a one-stop shop for folks to become owners of property, and we have every way. We got a credit program. We got a tax clinic. There's nothing that you're going through that we can't tackle to get you in a home, within a short period.
So this is not like NACA.com. You familiar with NACA?
We better than NACA.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We better than NACA. We real hands-on, and we really actually make it happen.
So how important do you think it is to be homeowners, entrepreneurs for the Black community and further growing how we moving along in this world?
Well, when you talk about wealth in America, you can't talk about wealth without talking about real estate.
Right.
Over 74% of white people own their homes. And a lot of other ethnic groups, majority of them, at least 50 plus, own their homes. And the fact that, we hover in a lot of major cities in the 30s, I think we're like 41% nationwide. We're lacking in wealth because we don't own property.
Right.
If we own property, then we can have equity, and then we can use equity to own more properties or make business investments, et cetera, right? So it's a piece of how you create wealth. When you think about creating wealth, you have to think about the instruments that get you to real wealth. What can get you 6 figures of wealth? Real estate, life insurance. You know what I'm saying? There's only a few things that you know that you can get involved in life or in death that'll get you 6 figures of money, right? That you can then reinvest or have an asset that could be passed down. And real estate is one of the main pieces. So we teach folks residential and commercial real estate, because commercial real estate is where everyone want to be, because that's what a real wealth is, and every wealthy person in America owns commercial.
Now, speaking of wealth,
same for me. That was my first property, was commercial property.
Now, speaking on that, I see that you have a Wealthy Wednesday webinar that you do. So break that down a little bit. Like, what are some of the things that you share, or what are some of the requirements for those who want to partake?
Man, every Wednesday, folks can get on and get educated, man. We tell them, last Wednesday, I was going in. My team was like, I need you to go in on these folks on mindset, because these folks, this. I said, I'm going in.
Right.
So last week was about your poor mindset.
Right.
We had a couple hundred people on. We do a virtual Wealthy Wednesdays every Wednesday. And you get to come on and get educated on the process, ask questions, get educated on everything that you need. We don't hold nothing back. We give them every resource, and we educate them on how to make it happen. And we make sure that everyone has a plan. You shouldn't come off our Wealthy Wednesday. You shouldn't come off from our big expos. We do massive expos every quarter. You should not leave without being able to do something.
Right.
I'm getting in credit repair, getting my credit together. I'm going to get my taxes done. I'm getting pre-approved right now. Whatever the case is, you should be making a step.
Right.
You shouldn't be stagnant just taking in information. And so over 95% of people who come to our expos that's sold out every quarter, we've not had one that hasn't been sold out, are new people. And that's what I love the most.
Right.
Who all been our expos? Nobody put their hands up. Good. Because if you steady coming to our expos, then you ain't doing something. Okay? What are you doing to make sure that you own in a piece of property? So we got Wealthy Wednesdays. We got trolley tours where we take them to different properties on the market and teach them on the spot and take them inside properties. We have our Summer Fest. We have our expos. We have back to school giveaways. So we do a lot to keep people engaged and educate them on finances. And we got our investment club.
I don't want to feel like the black sheep of everything you building in Chicago. I can't be the black sheep, Jaymal Green. Survival of the fittest won't end, man.
Oh, for
so
sure.
how can survival of the fittest collaborate with you with everything you talking about? Can we kind of EYL this shit? Can you come through this motherfucker? I shouldn't curse because we came out.
You've been cursing the whole show.
I've been cursed maybe once or twice. Can you come through here, man? Can we do something where you come through here, man, and each one teach one? Would you come through here and help our audience understand what you're doing here in Chicago? Because that's the first order of business.
Yeah.
Chicago is the first order of business.
100%. And I think we can open this up to, I got a team under me as well. And I got a team of brokers that I train that are out there doing the work. So we definitely can open up to make sure that we are always teaching, right? So everybody on my team, we're here to make an impact. And everybody gonna make money because, we make an impact. The money is secondary. The impact.
So you went to investments and IRAs and trading and owning stocks?
You know, I do some stuff like that personally, but in our investment club, we more teach them investment in real estate. So
Gotcha.
we're more teaching them, you know, fix and flips on residential. We teach in commercial real estate. Commercial real estate is the biggest way to create wealth. So you want to take them residential to get a big enough down payment to get into commercial. Right. Because once you're in commercial real estate, you can make high six figures every deal. So, you know, I think that it's important for us to understand it. And there's a lot of industries, and in business, I teach folks about industries that we're not in. It makes no sense that there are many industries that are making billions of dollars and black folks ain't in at all.
Yeah.
And we got to change that dynamic.
I'm going to speak this into existence right now. Do you follow, you know about Eric Thomas?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about Jaymal Green?
Yeah, I was with him
yesterday.
The
9 to 5 millionaire?
I was with him yesterday.
I'm about to say,
me and Jaymal spoke at a school together yesterday.
I got his books. I got his son books. You know,
that's my brother. Yeah.
So you already connected.
100%,
okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, let's say this because he gave us 9 minutes. Talk to me about the block clubs. You said something about block clubs, and I know that that's important when we're talking about changing the dynamics and planting seeds of something new in the city and in the neighborhoods of Chicago.
Now, I'm gonna touch on block clubs, but I want to touch on your question first on the industries that we're not in, because I want people to understand. In construction, we're always the carpenters and the painters, right? We always at the end of the line. But the real money is in development. The real money is in site. Why don't in the state of Illinois we don't have a black site utility company? That's a company when they about to build something, they got to go underground to bring the gas and the lights and everything to the site.
Right.
Those are multi-million-dollar contracts every single project. We don't have a mass excavation company. They just rent them. You know, y'all know the big equipment where they just move soil and lay soil out. They rent that equipment. So these companies rent that equipment, get the soil all together, right? Do the excavation. There's no black-owned companies in mass excavation in Illinois. There's no dynamic compaction companies. Dynamic compactions, when they lay the soil out, they drop a piece of steel all across the site to condense the soil.
Right.
There's no black-owned dynamic compaction companies. Environmental firms. There's just a lot of different industries. When you look at laundry equipment, I don't care. I got a million different places or different industries that black folks are not in.
We're not getting those contracts. We're not getting a contract.
No, but we're not prepared for them either.
Yeah, you're right.
Because we're not educated on them.
Right.
So we got to be educating us. You know, when I see a plumber, an electrician, let me educate y'all on how y'all can come together and build something bigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got to do that education. We got to do the collaboration, and then kick down the doors, and then say we ain't getting something, because I can kick down the doors and get them all. You feel me? But I just need the folks to be able to grab and bring through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we need to make sure that because when I talk to business owners, what's the number one thing they want to open?
Restaurant.
A restaurant. Everybody think they got the best recipe in the world.
Best
now,
chicken,
while
though.
I've invested and helped restaurants open, you know, there ain't a shortage of restaurants.
Right.
We need folks in real wealth building.
trades,
And restaurants, margins are low. It takes a long time to be able to make a lot of money in restaurants, right? But the companies I just told you about are multi-million-dollar contracts every time. These folks getting all the contracts.
Net 60s, they getting their paper.
Making 20, 30 million a year.
Yeah.
And they families, they just passing it on.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? We got to be in those industries, because then when we get in those industries, we can then take those millions and invest back into each other. We can't all own restaurants and we all making six figures and think we're going to be able to really elevate where we need to be. We need to make some real millionaires.
Yeah.
Why we ain't got an electric car, right? Why black folks, you telling me we ain't innovated an electric car and getting in the market so we can compete with Tesla before all this stuff go crazy?
Right.
We got so many different industries where we can be in that we smart enough to be in. We just don't have education, collaboration, and the finances.
Yeah,
and that's what I
a lot.
do.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Not to have all of that. So how can we get that?
I mean, we got people. What's the brother Isaac Hayes Jr.? So we even talking about the apps. So now this is going to be shown on YouTube and whatnot. But Isaac Hayes got his own app.
Yeah, we need folks. We should be investing in AI systems. We need. Man, I want y'all to look up this guy's name is Moses West, man. And he then created a system where he taking sunlight energy and it creates water. And so he has these big old machines that just create water on the spot
Yeah.
without connecting to anything. You feel what I'm saying?
They've been trying to shut them down, though.
Yeah, they've been trying. But we got to stand behind that brother. You feel me? And so there's just, we have some inventors and innovators. We got to stand behind them and push them, and then we got to really get into these fields. So that's what I want to say. And then on the block clubs is like, man, we got to band together. This all ties in. We got to kind of control what goes on the block.
Right.
And when I was coming up, that's how it happened. You know what I'm saying? Like when they broke in my house, the first time, when I was younger, we moved into a new neighborhood. The OGs had to come over there and oh man, this they family. Oh, okay. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like ain't none of this happening, right? Real talk. You feel me?
Right.
It's just like we gotta start taking back control of our blocks, and not in a gang way, but in a way where the community really is thriving together.
Right.
We need to start connect. We don't have villages no more, man. Don't nobody look after each other kids and stuff like that as we used to. And I moved to Beverly a few years ago, and I really moved on the edge of Beverly, so I was still in the hood, but I got the Beverly school
closer to right.
and the Beverly property. You know what I'm saying? So but the village, they still have that type of village, right? We still, me and my neighbor, we look after each other kids. Can you pick my daughter up from school? She go right across from my kids. Like we have that type of village, and that needs to happen all over. When I go for Halloween, they like, oh, we're doing a Halloween party at our house on the next block. All right, come through. I come through, all the parents and the kids there, the principal of my kid's school there with his kids. We all kicking it. You feel what I'm saying? It's a community.
Right.
I'm in here with the principal and his kids. His kids go to the school that my kids go to. He makes sure that his kids go to the school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different environment. We got to have that all over, because then we have accountability in what's going on.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Monz, let's get to some final thoughts.
Okay, yeah. So, man, it's definitely been a pleasure having you, man. Like, we could never fit all of your intellect into one interview, man. But before you get out of here, first and foremost, hit them with all of your socials, everything you want to let, how we could get to Generational Green and everything you got going on.
Yeah, at Jaymal Green, Generational Green, man. Just, you'll find me, type it in.
Yeah. And give us some, some final thoughts to leave on, some that you want the people to, to take and, leave with them.
Yeah. Well, I just want us to understand how powerful we can be together. And, I want to see us, and I envision us in a place where we are more loving to each other, but we are more, we are more collaborative, where we actually see the best in each other and utilize it.
Right.
And I know there's been so many years of destruction that has caused what we have. This hasn't happened overnight. This is hundreds of years that has been put into us by the system and by ourselves and by everybody else, right?
Right.
And I think that I just want to see us do better, man. And I know that we can. I know that the opportunity is there. And I know that in these future generations, this generation, next few generations, are going to change the tide when it comes to our people in America. And I'm looking forward to being there to support and invest and do everything that I can to make that happen. But we got to start having vision.
Yeah.
And, pack up those memories and put them to the side.
Absolutely.
It's time to change our future.
Absolutely. Lucky, what you got for us?
I'm so blown away. I don't know the word bewildered or amazed. I mean, this has been one definitely to grow on, right? And I come from the school. I'm a member, right? I've been a member of a street organizations. And so when I hear your spirit, when I hear your breakdown, when I watch the stuff you've been doing since the time I've been watching the last couple of years, you are definitely part of that bloodline that should make everybody proud. You really, and you serious. You're not playing. Man, then you got not only the intelligence to back it up, but you got the execution to back it up. So I want to end mine, because I want to end mine with the great Bruce Lee, right? The great Bruce Lee say, in great attempts, even failure is glorious. So right now, and I'm speaking to the next mayor of Chicago. The next mayor of Chicago right now, I'm speaking this into existence. You are him. That's the term they use. Well, my camera, that's the term. He's him. Yeah, he's him. He's him. So I want you to know that you're him. I thank you for coming through, blessing survival of the fittest. I pray that you come back. I pray for all your endeavors and your family to continue to be prosperous and to push forward. And everybody that's following you, I hope that they grab your heel, they grab your shirt, they grab a hold of you, man, and let you step them into something new, because you have it.
Thank you, brother.
You know, you have it. So anybody out there, again, watch this interview and whatever you can pick up from him, the small little nuggets that he's been dropping, and apply it. Just apply it. Just apply it. I can't say no more, man. I'm out with that, man.
Man, producer, say what you got for us.
Well, I'm gonna say create a legacy, right? Be a leader, create a legacy, and take inspiration from brothers like Jaymal Green. You know.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah. Go ahead, chime up in there.
Cause I ain't getting enough. I ain't really talking much about my kids, man. My kids, Jaymal, Jalen, and Jaden. They all JDGs. I started to just do Jaymal,
right.
Jaymal, like George.
Right.
George
right. Jaymal, 3, 4, and 5.
4 and 5. But man, you know, my inspiration really and entrepreneurship, everything I've done, is that I always wanted to spend as much time with my kids, you know. And we all went to New York a couple of weeks ago, man, and just experiencing, and we going out of town again in a couple of weeks, and we just spent a lot of time together, and they're able to watch every move.
Right.
And so, you know, it's just so impactful to me that I can be that to them. And I just want us to understand how important it is to invest in that next generation, man.
Yeah.
Because when Brandon Johnson came to my house and asked my support, my son said, "Brandon Johnson, you are not better than my daddy."
That's
kids
pay
attention.
Yeah.
You know
But he
saying?
wasn't playing though.
He pay attention.
He wasn't playing.
He will sit down with anybody and talk politics. Like, Brandon, you voted for Brad? Yeah, you know, like,
right.
And so, and then last is, you know, I have amazing mentees, man. So my kids and my mentees are everything.
Right.
And I want to give a shout out to my protege, Jalen. And I started mentoring him when he was 14. He's 21 now. And I mentored him, and it was a girl that they both were my favorites in my group.
Right.
And they liked each other. And he followed my steps and really been my protege all the way. And
that's
just
his wife.
in the last few months, they got married, man.
Yeah, man, congratulations.
Both
man.
started 14 with me.
You really making an impact out there.
And they surprised me, and they just, you know, so just like, man, investing in that next generation, man.
Right. Yeah.
Man, to make that impact is everything. That legacy.
God, that legacy is real. Okay, and I'm gonna say, man, you know, change. And I'm not talking about that come help a nigga get elected change. I'm talking about that walk it like it, talk it like you talk it change. You know what I'm saying? Be an example of what it is that you see is missing, or you want, or the change that you want to see made in this world. You know, don't keep sitting here complaining and putting all of the power into the people that you didn't even go vote for and they're in office or whatever. But what can you do? You know what I'm saying, to make difference in this world, you know, and know that, like it's like you said earlier, man, you have the power, you know, and like my great brother over here to my right say,
this is a product for the people, by the people, and what dreams go further than bullets. All right, you squares, Jaymal Green, Generational Green, we gone.
Peace.
Life's what you make it, stick to the basics, build your oasis. Now I'm off to the races, and victory so close, I swear I can taste it.
What a great time to be alive.